In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to service your Wahl Senior clippers in 5 simple steps. It's going to save you time, you're going to make more money, and we're going to have your clippers cutting fresh and clean in your barber shop.
You come to my barbershop and you don't come on time, I'm gonna fucking light you up.
Okay, so let's address the problem. Your clippers are running like a bag of shit and they're making horrible noises and leaving long hairs on your client while you're trying to cut their hair. Now, if you charge a premium for your service, you know that you can't do that for obvious reasons. So in this video today, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to take these Wahl Seniors apart, service them, and put them back together so they're working like brand new. Let's move over to my table and I'm going to show you guys exactly how we're going to do that today. Now on the table, you're going to see a selection of tools and equipment that we will need to service your Wahl Senior clippers. So let's go through it one by one. First up, we've got the Andis clipper oil. This is obviously for the maintenance of the oil after we've finished. We've got the Andis Cool Care to disinfect and lubricate the blades. We've got some paper towels so that we can keep everything clean and tidy and wipe down our components. Obviously, we've got the Wahl Senior clipper itself. And then we've got a simple brush just to brush out any debris that's trapped in between the blades. And finally, we've got the screwdriver, which every barber should have in his toolbox.
What's the solution?
Alright, step 1, we've got taking your clippers apart. So to do this, I'm going to start by removing these 2 screws on the back side of the top blade. They just come off pretty easy. Make sure to be careful though, because we don't want these dropping from a height because the teeth will crack on the clipper blades. As you can see now, I've just taken my brush and just dusting off any loose hair just to get rid of the debris that's already on the blades, just to keep everything clean and tidy. The next step is now I'm proceeding to remove the screw on the side of the clipper. This will loosen the lever and we will be able to remove it. Okay, so now we're going to remove the metal housing on the back of the clipper. And here we need to be careful because we do not want to lose this small nut that is inside this rivet in the back of the clipper. The next step is to remove this piece of plastic, and be careful when you pop this off because you don't want the spring flying across the shop. It's happened to me many times, and I tell you what, you can spend 2 hours looking for this spring and it'll be under someone's chair somewhere or under a table or something. It's an absolute nightmare. Another thing to think about when you remove this piece of plastic is not to snap these 2 arms, because this is what keeps the clipper in tight and running smooth. Step number 2 is to clean off all of the components on your clipper, just like I'm doing now with the brush. Make sure you use the brush deep down inside of all the nooks and crannies to remove as much hair as possible. The more hair we remove, the better the clipper will run. So once you've dusted down all of the components of the clipper, make sure that you pick up the blade and be extra careful not to drop this. Right, so now I'm going to take the nut and put it back in its position. Make sure that it's the right way round. And now the spring, we also want to make sure that that's the right way round. And inside of the clipper, as you can see on screen now, there's a little lip, and we're just going to hook the base of the spring making sure that there's tension when we push forward. And now we can replace the plastic housing. And as I said earlier, make sure we don't snap these wings on the piece of plastic. They should just click into place into the grooves along the edge of the clipper. And you hear a little pop. Right now, as you can see, I put my index finger there just to hold it so it doesn't ping back across the shop. Again, that's happened to me thousands of times, so be careful here. But what you can do to prevent that happening is grab the metal housing and just slide it into the grooves. And actually what will occur is we will hold, there is a little nipple, if you just see there like I'm showing you on the screen. If we use the metal housing just to sit over that, that will actually be enough pressure to hold the spring in place. Right now I'm going to be very careful and just put it down on the table, making sure not to pop anything out of place. And I'm going to grab the lever. Now when you replace this and you're doing up the nut, we've got to make sure that this is not too tight because we don't want to overthread the screw and just have it spin. Right, once we tightened up the lever arm, now we're going to proceed to put the smaller blade on first. And now we'll pick up the larger blade and we're going to actually line up the two holes and put in the head screws back into position. And as you see on screen, a little tip here is I'm just nipping up the screw to hold the blade in place. So I just put the second one in there, and I'm not doing them right up tight, I'm just doing it to keep it secure. And that's because I want to leave enough room for step number 4 to adjust your clipper blades. Right now, you got to make sure that your blades are set as close as you like them. But remember, the closer the blades are together, the top and the bottom blade, the tighter and sharper the clippers will be. This is how I like to have my blades set. And by the way, make sure that you do not overlap the blades, because if you overlap the blades, you're going to be in trouble and you're going to cut people up. Now I'm just spraying a bit of Andis Cool Care to clean them and remove any rubbish or grime that's on them. And then I'm going to switch it up and use a bit of oil just to lubricate the blades. And as you can see, now we've got them running nice and smooth and jobs are good. And now it's very important to move on to the final step. And finally, the 5th and the most important step to servicing your Wahl senior clippers is to subscribe to this channel. And if you're like me and you're wondering how do I service these Wahl detailers, you can check out the video right here.